Well, welcome to our session this evening, English for Non-Native Speakers of English. My name is Sarah Pengel. I'm the Student Leadership and Engagement Specialist here at Lord Fairfax. And our wonderful presenter this evening will be Miss Lisa Currie, and she will be guiding us through this topic. At the very end of the session, you will have a chance to sign up for our drawing, which we will draw on August 24th in the morning, which is the first day of classes. And you will be entered in to win a chance at an iPad mini, a set of AirPods, or a Nintendo Switch. You can also view the video files for sessions that you may have missed on the website for the virtual student folder that you receive from the Dean of Students. I think it's once every couple of weeks. And you can watch those if you miss them and still sign up to be in the drawing. So if you're a new student, there are a few different ways that you can get entered in, and you can be entered up to 5 times. So you can watch 3 of this new student summer series, which this session is a part of. There's a pathway session that you would attend. So whether you're a business student or healthcare student, you would attend that pathway session. And there's also a curbside pickup. We're going to have some really cool swag bags. So you'll be able to get a really cool LFCC mask with some hand sanitizer and a lanyard and some other goodies. And you just stay in your car and we'll bring it out to you. So there are a few different ways that you can get entries, but up to 5 for new students, and then returning students can view these videos and get up to 3 entries. So stay tuned, and we'll have the winner on August 24th. And without further ado, here's Lisa.
And I hope I don't lose internet. We are getting ready to have a storm, and if it will just rain, I will be glad to come back and do this at another time. I am Lisa Currie. I am an academic advisor. I teach some of the English as another language classes and student orientation for students who are first-generation college students, and also students who maybe went to college in another country or who have come to the United States recently. I'm going to share my screen with you so that I can show you my PowerPoint. And if you want to stop me at any time, feel free to stop me. Okay?
And I also have access to the chat. So Myra, if you'd like to put something in the chat at any time, I'll be able to alert Lisa and let her know.
And I picked a picture of the hummingbird because, you know, really, I just love hummingbirds, and I thought this was really cool, and it has nothing to do with my presentation at all. This is a step toward your future. And so this is about some of the classes that we have at Lord Fairfax and some of the opportunities that we have at Lord Fairfax for speakers of other languages. Lord Fairfax is the home of students from 75 different countries, which is just amazing. And we represent, I don't even want to think how many different languages. These students come from all different backgrounds. We have students who are very highly educated in their own countries, who come to learn English and to improve just their English skills. We have students who come from high schools who are ready to transition right into the college program, but they don't have the background information that helps them to be successful college students. They're first generation college students. I was the same way when I went to college for the first time. We have students who maybe went to high school in another country, and this is the first time they've ever gotten the opportunity to go to college. And you know what? We have a lot of students who have come here who did not go to high school in their country. They've gotten a GED in the United States, and now they might be 35 or 45. I have a student who is 68, and this is the first time that they will get to go to college. And sometimes it's just to take a class to learn how to type, or maybe they just want an oral communication class. Sometimes just doing that one class encourages them to the point where they're ready to do something else. They're going to get a certificate or degree and move to the next phase. These are not international students. These are our neighbors. These are our friends, our peers. These are students who quite often have lived in the United States their entire life. When you look at this picture, you can see the diversity. They come from all over the planet, and they're all different ages. These are all young right here. Well, some of them are not. But they really are just another segment of our community that sometimes people mistakenly refer to these students as international students. We at Lord Fairfax actually have 2 international students right now. An international student is what we call an F1 student, and that student comes to the United States strictly to study. They're granted an F1 visa by Homeland Security, and they do their studying here, and then they return to their native country. In larger universities and larger colleges, there's lots of F1 students. And we usually have between, 5 and 10 students. This year, the numbers are down just because of COVID. But again, an international student brings a whole different dimension to our college because they went to high school in another country. They don't have the friends and peers that our non-native speakers of English bring to our campus. And when you look at some of these pictures, you're going to see people that you went to high school with, that you might be familiar with from your own community, because this is our community. This is our LFCC family. And we have multiple paths for students to take as they move forward on their educational careers. I think one of the greatest misconceptions of college is that I have to go to college and I have to finish in 2 years. Well, if you're listening to me, you're looking at somebody who did not do that. You, especially in a community college setting, you get to take as many classes as you can be successful with. And yes, we have students who come in and they're ready to take 5 classes because they're not working, they don't have a family, they don't have any other responsibilities. And so they're ready to take 5 classes. But if you only can take 2 classes, then you only can take 2 classes, and you move through the degree plan at your own pace. You can get an associate's degree sometimes and go straight into the workforce, like with our administration of justice degree. You probably can get a job with a local police department with that. Or you could take that same administration of justice degree and move on to a 4-year college to earn a degree in criminology because you want to do more. Maybe you want to go work for the state police or the FBI. You can get an applied associate's degree, and that's one that is really designed to get you into the workforce, like our registered nurse program or our dental hygiene program. These are designed to give you the skills right away so that you can enter the workforce and have a job. We have certificates, and I always say a certificate kind of teaches you to do the job in one chair. And sometimes people get a certificate because they want to move up in their job. They want to have that one more skill. And sometimes people get a certificate like electricity or HVAC or something like that, just so they can go get a job. And so, we can help you. We're here to help you regardless of which path you want to take, because whatever path you take, it's going to make your life better and therefore our communities better. And that's what we want to do. Many students don't want to do the college path. They want to do the workforce development path. And that's a different path. I can help you get there. No, I don't know everything about it. But I can get you there so that you can do some of the programs through Workforce. They have the pharmacy tech program. They have the some of the dental assistant programs. They have programs for the CDL license so that you can be a truck driver. So there's lots of programs like that that don't take as long. Sometimes they're only 6 or 8 weeks. Their electricity program starts in August and is over in September, and that might be just what you need to go into the workforce. So, if that's something that you want to talk about, come and see me because I can help you get there. And yes, sometimes those programs also require that you have the English to be able to read and write at that level. I can help you do those too, so that then you can transition right into the program that you want. I think that I can brag about us a little bit here. We are a small college. We are not near as big as some of the other community colleges. And so we still have that mom attitude. We can help you. We are here to be supportive. And, we all don't have all the answers, but there's enough of us at Lord Fairfax that we can probably get you the answer. We're small enough that we're connected. It's easy for me to get to the business office or to get to financial aid or to get to the dean. Our deans their doors are always open. In fact, sometimes I think our deans would like to close their doors to keep us away, but they're always there. And so we are a very supportive and very caring community because we want our students to be successful. When I see my students go off to the next level, it makes me sad, but it also makes me very excited because I'm glad for them. There's all different ways that we can help you. You can have a very individualized advisor who will help you pick out the classes that you need. It's very different. If you go to a larger university, sometimes it's overwhelming because you don't know which classes to take. And sometimes the advisors are not there to kind of direct you. Because we are the first 2 years of college, we work very closely with our students to make sure they're taking the right classes. So when they transition, they're in the right place. Our classes are small so that the instructors know the students. Usually within a week, the instructors know the students' names. You're not just a number. I know when my son went to Tech, his chemistry class had 500 students in it. 500. And, our classes sometimes don't even have 30. Our labs only have 24. So you really are an individualized student. And our students make great close relationships. Many of them went to high school together. And even when they did not, when they come together because of their uniqueness, they develop relationships that bond them together. The picture of Jose here in the corner with Edmund, Edmund's much older than Jose. Jose is now a student at JMU in Harrisonburg. But these two got to be great buddies. I mean, one's from El Salvador and one's from China. But they really did get to be great buddies because they were able to help each other navigate the system. And that's what makes it important. There's lots of help with scholarships. Lord Fairfax has a tremendous number of scholarships. And lots of times students don't even apply for them. But the scholarship money is there. There's financial aid, and the scholarships open in January and they close in March. And our scholarships are different from national scholarships in the sense that ours come from local businesses. They come from people who might have graduated from Lord Fairfax or people who worked in the community who want to see students make a difference in the student's life. And so they give money to students to go to school. And it's different in the sense sometimes when students are in high school and they apply for scholarships, they're applying against thousands of students because sometimes these are national scholarships where there have 10,000 applications. Our scholarships are actually read by people. This is not a computer process. They actually read them and determine who gets what. So it's really important that students apply for scholarships. There is financial aid. Even if you are taking ESL classes, you can still get financial aid because our ESL classes are designed just like college classes. They're the same. And if you don't have financial aid or a scholarship, there are payment plans so that you can kind of pay as you go along. And I think the greatest thing is work study. If you have financial aid, you can be a work study student. I was a work study student in college, and it helped me to develop skills. It also put me in contact so that I was able to develop my resume and my references. It improved my resume because I was working for the college. It makes your resume look really good. And we have lots of different opportunities for students at all different levels. You can see here some of our students. They range in age from 18 to 68. There are all kinds of special events that we host at Lord Fairfax to show that we do embrace that diversity, that diversity is part of our campus. It is who we are. And without these people, our campus would not be near as interesting. We have lots of clubs and different events for students to get involved in. Usually in September, we have a big festival where the students get to know each other, and there's all kinds of games and food and things like that. There are study groups where you can go and study together, regardless of whether you're doing English as another language class or a biology class. And so these help students develop their skills. We have tutoring services that are free. I always tell my students, when I was in college, I had to have a tutor for math. I think I would have to have a tutor for math now too. But when I was in college, I had to pay my tutor. I had to pay him $10 a week. And that was a really long time ago. And that was a lot of money. But our tutoring services are free. You can just, even online, if you need a tutor online, you can go to the tutoring online and somebody will help you. And they're wonderful tutors. And so, you can use those services all the time. We have a food pantry for the students who, need a little bit of help now and then. We have tech services. We have dental services. Our dental hygiene students have to have practice. They have to have a real body there. And so every semester, they're always looking for people to clean their teeth. And our dental hygienists, they need to clean people's teeth from 2 to 60. So they will even clean your children's teeth because they have to learn to work with all different populations. And so this is just another service that we have that sometimes people don't even know that it's there. You can look at these pictures. Quite often when we have our events, people bring their whole families because it is a family. We are definitely a family together. Our non-native speaking students bring a richness to our campus that we cannot even describe. They have done numerous community service projects. They have a great deal of fun. They sponsor events in the community. They participate in floats and in parades and all different kinds of things. And they bring a different vision of college to our college, regardless of what background they have come from. And we encourage them to come and bring their ideas. We have a club at Lord Fairfax called the Intercontinental Fusion Cultural Club, which is a lot of words. And quite often we have as many native speaking students in that club as we have non-native speaking students, because the native speaking students learn so much from the non-native speaking students that it really brings the two parts together. And so many times when I look out afterwards and I see the two people having coffee together or eating in the subway or exercising together, they've formed a new bond that you can't teach. It just happens. It just happens through being together. Our English as Another Language program offers college level language classes for those students who do not speak English as their first language. And with the change in Virginia laws, this opportunity is now available for students who may not have a documentation, a domicile. You know, when I first started this job several years ago, there was a lot of talk about the DACA student because we were getting DACA students. Well, over time, that has changed. Now we have a lot of native born students whose parents may not be documented or whose parents have a green card or something like that. Those students are American citizens. They have the same rights and benefits as anyone else. If a student is undocumented, they can now come to Lord Fairfax Community College for in-state tuition rates. This is a whole change. The tuition equity bill that was signed by our governor and went into effect as law July 1 allows non-native speakers who may not be documented to come to college for the same price as anybody else. And yeah, I have to collect a little bit of information. It's not difficult information to collect. And I am here ready to help you make this step forward. You can take one class and you can take as much time as you want as you proceed in your education, because hopefully one day you will be ready to be that citizen of the United States and you will have all the tools you need to be successful. So, you know, if you are interested, my information is at the end of this PowerPoint, and I encourage you to contact me and get some more information, either for yourself or for somebody else. Our classes, we call them English as Another Language, not ESL. Our English as Another Language classes are just that. Our staff is trained to understand how we acquire a language and how we merge those languages together into a new language. We don't really learn a language, we acquire a language. And they're designed just like college classes. You will have a reading class that is strictly reading, a writing class that is writing and composition, an oral communication class, which is listening and speaking. We have grammar classes. Every once in a while, we will offer a spelling class. So there's lots of different classes that you can take to improve your skills. And sometimes high school students need to take these because they've only been in the United States for a short period of time. We don't want to dissuade them from moving forward, but we don't want them to move into a college level class that they may not be ready for, and then, you know, failing it will hurt both their GPA and their finances. So we want to get them ready to take the college level courses. Our courses are on 3 different levels. We have 20 level, which is the lower proficiency. We have a proficient level, which is the 30 level, and then the advanced level, which is the 40 level. And from that point, we hope to get you ready to move right into college English. And our students do transition. They transition right into regular college classes, and they move forward with success. I think that's the biggest thing. We want them to move forward and to have success in their classes, because there's nothing so discouraging as to fail a class, and it can really set us back. It happens all the time. It's not going to be the end of your college career, but when you're paying for your classes, you want to make sure that you can get that C and move to the next level. we want you to think about coming to join the LFCC family. You know, the college is a long road. To get a bachelor's degree, it's 4 years of consistent study. And if you have a family and you have a job, it may take you longer than 4 years. And it's good to have somebody there to hold your hand as you're going along, just so that you make the right decisions and you're moving forward on the right path. You know, I jokingly tell my students sometimes that I am not going to JMU with you. I am not going to Old Dominion with you. I am not going to George Mason with you. But it always ends up that they end up back in my office and I'm advising them for Old Dominion and George Mason. But it's okay because it keeps me current on what they need. And it also helps them because sometimes in those bigger schools, they do have a tendency to get lost, or sometimes they just need somebody to talk to. And so, you know, even though I'm here to help you on the Lord Fairfax path, I am also going to go right along with you as you move off into the world. And it's always wonderful when my students come back, like with Jose, and show me that they have the dean's list. Yeah, he always wants to tell me, look how bad I did, miss. And then when I look and I see the dean's list, I'm just going to punch him. But no, I mean, that makes me feel great when my students move forward and are successful. So I hope that you will consider coming and growing your opportunities at Lord Fairfax. As you can see, my information is here at the top. And my email and my phone number, that's my office phone number. If you call and leave a message, I will call you back or I will email you back. If you speak another language, we have people at Lord Fairfax who can help you. I have people who work with me who speak Korean, who speak Chinese, who speak Spanish, who can speak Arabic, so that if you speak another language and you need help, we can get somebody to help you move along the path. And that's all I have. Do you have any questions, Myra? You're muted. Myra, do you have any questions?
It won't let me unmute her, but she could put it in the chat, or she might have to unmute herself.
Okay. I'm always here to answer questions. Sometimes it's hard to make that step, to make that phone call or drop that email, but I do check my email. Well, right now I think I check my emails in the middle of the night, just to stay in front of the emails. But I do check my emails often, and I will get back with you as quickly as I can. Quite often, if you need help in another language, I will just email you and tell you who is going to contact you. And then I have that person contact you to either help you with your application. I can walk you through the application, or I can have somebody call you and walk you through that application. We can help you do your financial aid application. If you have a green card, if you are a US citizen, you can get financial aid. And so somebody can help you through that process. And if you are a student at Lord Fairfax, I don't care what your status is, you can get a scholarship. And so all you have to do is apply. Myra, do you have any questions? You're muted, so I can't hear you if you do have a question. I think she disconnected.
Oh, sorry, I was muted.
Yep.
Okay, so what I will do is I will go ahead and share my own screen so that when people watch this back, they can register for the prizes that we have. You can see that, Lisa?
I can.
All right. So if you're watching this on a recording, you'll be able to go to that tiny URL, and we will announce the winners on Monday, August 24th. And you could win an iPad mini, set of AirPods, or a Nintendo Switch, which is really exciting. And thank you for coming and watching this session today. And stay tuned for more sessions that we will have. Where is the recording button?
Is it on the side over here?
There we go.